Well, what we have is 2 days after that draft Supreme Court opinion gutting Roe v. Wade, after that was leaked, well, Louisiana has now introduced a bill that essentially classifies abortion as homicide. And the bill, it allows individuals who terminate pregnancies and those who assist in any way to be charged with murder. Here's what we know. The legislation, which passed through a committee on a 7-2 vote, goes one step further than other anti-abortion bans that have gained momentum in recent years, which focus on punishing abortion providers and others who help facilitate the procedure. Now, Forbes had this to say about Louisiana's bill, which is known as HB 813. The bill fully recognizes the human personhood of an unborn child, starting at the moment of fertilization. And it grants embryos and fetuses the same rights under the law as human beings outside of the womb. What this really means then is that in Louisiana, having, assisting, or performing an abortion would be treated as, once again, homicide, murder. And the state isn't even waiting for that final SCOTUS opinion on Roe v. Wade and whether it and its legacy and progeny will stay on. The legislation would take effect immediately, even if federal abortion rights are still in place and the Supreme Court hasn't overturned Roe v. Wade. As the bill stipulates, it should be enforced without regard to the opinions and judgments of the Supreme Court of the United States and Roe v. Wade, or any other past or future abortion-related rulings, as well as any federal statutes or executive orders. Moreover, what we know is that any state judge who tries to block the law should be impeached or removed, the bill states. And as if this bill really couldn't get any worse, it actually can and does get worse here, because it's not simply limited to traditional notions of abortion because of how it's worded here. Critics pointed out during the hearing Wednesday that the bill could stretch far past abortion and punish those who participate in vitro fertilization, as not all eggs fertilized during IVF may be successful in terms of bringing about a pregnancy, meaning some would be killed as defined by HB 813. It could also potentially be used to punish those who take birth control pills, which prevent fertilization or emergency contraception. Methods like Plan B, attorneys opposed to the bill noted. Now, this really seems to, go ahead, Cenk.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, we literally told you this was gonna happen a couple of days ago. And every time we say it, the rest of the political sphere say, oh, you guys are exaggerating, these poor Republicans. I mean, they wouldn't take away women's liberties. But that's what getting rid of Roe does in the first place, right? But now, no, they're gonna put them in prison. And yes, for some forms of birth control, just like we told you. I mean, think about how much Republicans hate freedom. Now, don't get me wrong, they love freedom for Christian right-wing men. In fact, they think it is part of their freedom to oppress you. Oh, you're doing something I don't like, or something that's against my religion or my other beliefs. Oh, you don't have those beliefs. I don't care. I don't care about you. I don't care about your freedom. I don't care about your body. Not only am I gonna prevent you from controlling your own body and take away your liberty, I'm gonna physically put you in prison. And by the way, if it's homicide, for life, because you don't have the same views I do about religion. What is this, Saudi Arabia? Is this Iran? Is this the Vatican? What kind of an insane country do we live in? And right out of the gate, Louisiana's like, oh my God, there's no limits anymore. Let's crush women. And who's it gonna affect? You think it's gonna affect rich Republican women? No, they're gonna go to New York or Paris and get their abortions anyway. Guaranteed, every one of them is a hypocrite. Guaranteed, okay? No, it's not gonna affect rich women at all. This is gonna put more poor women into prison. And by the way, doctors, they're all going to be political prisoners in Louisiana. We have to do an underground railroad. I'm not kidding. The Democrats will never ever save you. Do you know the Democratic governor of Louisiana is also anti-choice? So he hasn't even commented on this bill yet. He's thinking about how he's going to proceed. And the minute you let Republicans oppress you, they're good at it. They're professionals at it. They will take away all your rights.
That definitely seems to be the case. And when it comes to Louisiana, the thing that really stands out for me is that they have the death penalty there and they can give it to someone for homicide, for murder. And I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to women and individuals who decided to have abortions or participate in it if they are hit with a death penalty conviction, and that can be meted out from a jury. And in addition to that, we do know that in Louisiana that you cannot be found guilty in terms of getting the death penalty if you commit rape. So you can have a situation where someone rapes another person, that person gets pregnant, they decide to have an abortion, and yet it's the person who decided to have the abortion who would be facing the death penalty in Louisiana. It's just clear Louisiana is very problematic, and the fact that they jumped out here quick to make sure that in the event that the court doesn't take this Dobbs case and actually use it to gut Roe, that there's a potential another law, another challenge that will be lined up to get it right back in front of the US Supreme Court. And this really does highlight the problem of abortion if it becomes a state issue by way of the Supreme Court reversing Roe v. Wade. And so more on that here. An NBC News analysis of Center for Reproductive Rights data found that 23 states would institute bans would trigger laws on the books in 13 of them. A second abortion rights advocacy group, the Guttmacher Institute, counted 26 states it considered certain or likely to ban abortion based on laws passed before and after Roe in the event it is overturned. And again, this really does show us how Louisiana is incredibly problematic. And as you see this map here showing what abortion would look like post Roe v. Wade in the event it's overturned. And another interesting thing I'll point out is that Louisiana, it's lacking 46 in healthcare, 48 in education and opportunity as well. Overall, it ranks dead last in terms of states that you'd actually want to live in and be able to benefit in living in it. Also, the United States has that highest maternal mortality rate of any developed country. It's averaging around 18 deaths per 100,000. And you may not think that's a lot, but when you think about the Netherlands, Norway, New Zealand, they have 3 deaths per 100,000, yet we have 18. That's huge. Also, the state with the highest maternal mortality rate, it's Louisiana, 58 deaths per 100,000. The US average at 18. Louisiana is banking 40 more deaths. It is sky high, and yet they are going to force individuals to have children. This is wild to me. Cenk?
And by the way, they will, I guarantee you, also punish people who had miscarriages. They'll say, oh, did you drink? Did you have any drugs at all? And it doesn't matter how long ago, that's it, put them in prison. Death penalty for people who have abortions, and your movement is called pro-life. You guys are a joke, a sick, sick joke. We might need left-wing militias. There's no way in the world we're gonna let them execute women for having abortions in Louisiana. It's not gonna happen. By hook or by crook, by any means necessary, we are not going to allow that to happen. We're not Democrats. We fight back against right-wing monsters.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.